boss. Bubbling. No, it's okay. Shall we? Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. I want to start off by thanking all of you and appreciating your efforts in coming here to cover this press conference, even though the notice came in quite prompt. I appreciate this service you are doing towards our common good. Before I delve into the contents of my official press statement, which I will make available to all of you in electronic copy format, I want to play a short little song done by the women of Woolly that is relevant to this occasion. I'm sure your recorders will be able to pick it up. Mbemba, buwanja na yala telephone okay on airplane mode, please. You know, he's the boss. He said we should put all these phones on airplane mode. So I'm just conveying the command of the commander for today. Well, that's a song, impromptu, unrehearsed, done by the women of Willy Tuba during one of my recent political expeditions up country in URR. It's just asking me to speak about the issues that concern the poor and vulnerable masses of this country. I call this press conference specifically to highlight certain critical national issues that I believe deserve more attention than they receive in these critical moments of our national transition in this so-called New Gambia. I can understand that the news cycle is very fast, and this information age often afflicts us with information overload, thereby making it difficult to focus on certain issues beyond a short time span. Therefore, I deem it fitting to bring back to the fore issues that I think deserve repeated reporting and analysis in a bid to keep the government on its toes regarding their responsibility to keep us safe and informed. The alleged transfer of $35 million into the accounts of the First Lady's Foundation is a case in point. It's still wrapped up in shadows. We don't still know the facts of this, and the government has not launched any credible investigation to clarify this matter. A government that just recently concluded a commission of inquiry that looked into the past financial malpractices of the former government. If the transfer into the First Lady's accounts was just a one-off activity without any subsequent connected developments, one could be excused for letting this go down. However, NAWEC recently awarded a multi-million-dollar contract to a company that was accused of transferring these funds into the First Lady's Foundation's accounts. I believe that this is a matter worthy of further investigation and pressing the government on for clarification. Our marine resources, our fisheries resources, continue to be mismanaged and damaged with serious allegations of bribery coming from the Ministry of Fisheries. When an audio file emerged allegedly implicating the permanent secretary and the minister of that relevant ministry, the attempt for corrective action was solely directed at the permanent secretary, and the minister of that relevant ministry has not been approached for any serious investigation, has not been sent on leave like the permanent secretary was. This same ministry was burnt down to ashes, and yet our country seems comfortable without a credible answer to the questions surrounding this scary, very scary incident. Allocation of prime land in this country seems to be done under the shadows with no clear information coming out as to who is benefiting from what. I believe, as citizens and journalists, it's about time we ask the Minister of Lands to give us a list of persons and institutions that have benefited from the allocation of government land, especially prime land around the Bethel-Harding Highway. Our president recently announced a planned trip to Dubai. He later canceled the trip after I published an audio message calling it a dangerous mission orchestrated by a few businessmen at great cost to the state without any potential commensurate benefit. I warned the powers that be that embarking on that trip would cause us humiliation as a nation because the host country was not receiving our president nor providing any security and protocol arrangements befitting a visiting head of state. There is a reported planned hijacking of our national energy infrastructure involving the president, a few Gambian businessmen, and a Senegalese mogul that has been feeding on the blood and sweat of innocent Gambians. There are reports that the president intends to cancel this deal, but this matter is still worthy of the attention of your pen and cameras. Energy security is national security. Current exploration activities at our nation's petroleum fields also deserve more attention than they get. We cannot be sitting down reacting to situations only after the damage has already been done. Mining and export of black sand from Combo South has also failed to garner the attention it deserves. When a journalist asked the president about this deal in an interview, our head of state and our borough said that he could not remember the name of the company involved in this multi-million-dollar business deal. There are allegations that the president's close associates and some of his family members are involved in the mining and export of black sand. And when this government took over, there was a heap of black sand around Kartong, Batokunku area. It just vanished into thin air. Doesn't this country have citizen journalists, activists? Don't we care about our natural resources that were put on this land before this criminal government and its members were even born? These resources are bestowed on us by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we don't own them. We should take our fair share, manage them responsibly, sustainably, and bequeath them to generations that will come after us. We all know that the Gambia is in a volatile, critical stage. National security is at its lowest ebb, with young people dying day and night without any proper investigation. When the president recently made a speech regarding the incidents that happened in Sanyang, he could not bother about the security and life of the young man who died. He was just heaping blame on the young people. We have a country where containers of drugs like cocaine are coming into. We have a country that has a container of guns. We don't know where those guns are. Therefore, we cannot afford to have a commercial bank that is controlled by the government and its close associates. Guns, drugs, and shady financial channels make no good omen for global security. The Central Bank of the Gambia can and should do better in policing our financial institutions. We do not want our country to be used as a staging post to destabilize the sub-region or support terrorists and other organized crime syndicates. Gambia is known for her peace and stability. Majority Muslim country that has no connection with terrorism or violence. If we have cocaine, dangerous drugs coming into this country, guns coming into this country unaccounted for, and then you have a financial institution that's being controlled by government, with shady deals being reported around that financial institution, I think as journalists and citizens, we all need to be concerned. We all need to keep these issues on the front pages so that we can hold our officials accountable. And now to the crux of the matter regarding this impromptu press conference. There is a message making the rounds on social media to the effect that President Barrow and his close associates want to ambush me and cause me harm. This is not the first time my name has come up as a potential victim in such alleged plans, but I have never reacted to those previous alarms, even when I was contacted by journalists. In the particular case where I was mentioned, Nyang Jai, Madi Jobate and others, I did not respond to it. But this time, I deem it necessary to bring it to the attention of our national security institutions and the international community, as well as religious leaders in this country, that I believe information I'm getting is quite credible, that President Barrow and his henchmen have marked me as a target for attacks because I'm a thorn in their flesh. I'm crisscrossing this country, left, right, and center, canvassing support for people to vote against President Barrow across political lines because of his incompetence and the corruption that has characterized his government. I will read the message that was shared on social media as is. I am not going to say that this message is true, but neither will I dismiss it totally as alleged due to recent critical antecedents. The message reads as shared on social media. Breaking news, Manding Mori. I got the information from my insider within NIA and State House that Adama Barrow and Usman Sow are planning to ambush Momodou Sabally. Abubakar Jawara, a criminal businessman, offers $1 million to each of the rebels selected to ambush Mr. Sabally in their secret meeting held at Abubakar Jawara's compound, unquote. I am quoting the message as shared. I'm not saying if it is true or not, but after several messages like this listing me as a target, I believe it's quite right for me to bring this to the attention of the government, our security institutions, some of which are friends to some of the businessmen that are being allegedly connected to these planned attacks. I am raising this as a concerned citizen, bringing it to the attention of President Adama Barrow and his government and the religious leaders of this country. I am not interested in any smear campaign against any individual or official mentioned in any of these many messages that have been going around. What I'm interested in is holding the government accountable, and the message here and the press conference is direct to President Adama Barrow and the religious leaders for obvious reasons, because nobody will ever be able to imagine what Momodou Sabally's reaction is going to be. I can assure the whole country that. So I'm directing my message of warning to President Adama Barrow, alerting the international community and the religious leaders of this country. I repeat, I am not interested in any smear campaign against any private individual or government official, and it is not my intention to bring this to the fore for people to go and attack these people, their families, and get into their private lives. That is not my problem. I've seen a message that's quite alarming, and I am not going to be the one to sit down and wait for my dead body to be presented before a court of law as evidence to verify that these threats are true. I'm not a fool. Now, some of you may be privy to some audio messages recently released in the National People's Party's WhatsApp forums threatening me. The first message released stated that I should not visit any Sarahule village in the URR Upper River region, especially Gambisara, otherwise I would be attacked and physically assaulted. I did not react to this message because the person behind it could not be identified, and I got some messages of reassurance from Gambisara telling me completely important people dissociating themselves from the threat. If it stopped at that, I would not react. But a subsequent message purportedly released by Bubu Drame, who is supposed to be the NPP's regional chair for URR. That message also reconfirmed the first threat, and the author of the message said that if I, Momodou Sabally, visit Gambisara or any other Sarahule villages in the URR, the youths of that town should assault me because I have been critical and disrespectful of President Barrow and Abubakar Jawara. He actually declared that URR is a no-go area for me, Momodou Sabally. Not once did any top official of the NPP come out to adequately condemn these threats of violence coming from their supporters. Nor did the leader of the NPP, President Barrow, address his supporters to stop such dangerous comments. In fact, the president himself must have been the instigator of these threats because he's the first person to stand in this country at this critical juncture in our transition when the TRRC is still trying to unfold the abuses of the past. Barrow said he'd rather die than face humiliation in the election. The body goes where the head leaves it. If President Barrow is bringing dangerous statements like that, what do you expect his supporters to do? One of his official, let me make this clear. If some rank and file within the NPP makes such threats, I would not blame Barrow and the party, but it's Barrow, it's his regional chairman. It's an official of his party who came recently and said, I should be executed. So they're taking their cue from President Barrow. Now, I know that I have been a thorn in the flesh of President Barrow and his ministers and close associates, and I will never be cowered down by any threats. I will continue to speak and expose the incompetence and corruption of the Barrow administration, and I will go to the police headquarters tomorrow, inshallah, to report these threats, since the police are silent about these obvious threats when they know about them. I will visit the police headquarters tomorrow to lay a complaint, and I am calling on the Inspector General of Police to investigate these matters and act accordingly. I know that the Gambia Police Force I have the highest respect for police officers in this country, but the leadership of the police force right now is highly compromised. If a police force, a national institution, is relying on arms attained from begging to run their institution, then that police force, how can they be objective in investigating cases that involve their purported beneficiaries? I was shocked recently, and I'm still dumbfounded that the whole nation is silent on this, that a police station is burned. Instead of the police going into the national budget to build that, an individual and his company steps in. And at least for once, they've been a subject of investigation. Regardless of what the outcome of that investigation is, I think the leadership of the Gambia Police Force should be very careful, and they should care about their reputation and their integrity during a period when the excesses of the past that certainly involved some of their top officials are being uncovered at the TRRC. I think the Gambia Police Force can and should do better. In conclusion, I am ready to defend myself in any situation, and I want to make that clear, and nobody will prevent me from visiting any region, town, village, or hamlet in this country. And any person who is foolish enough to be induced to attack me, that person should know that he or she is doing that at their own peril. I stand defiant against any purported attempts to silence me. I continue to live by my mantras, can't cage me, and Kana song. I want to thank you for your kind attention. I appreciate the efforts you made within less than 10 hours for this number of media personalities and institutions to come here. I am most grateful, and I want to encourage you to continue the great and noble service you, the gentlemen and ladies of the press, are doing for our common good, for the Gambia, our homeland. Thank you. So I'll take a few questions. I would prefer that the questions be limited to the subject matter. I know some of you want me for interviews. We can arrange interviews later during the week, but this is a private business setting, and we can't spend much time here. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sabally, for inviting us to this important press conference. But it is also a concern to me.
Can you introduce yourself for the audience?
Bakari Kamara from Kamara Official. It's a concern to me as a citizen, believing that you are one of that citizens that we need in this country, and your family as well. Why are you saying I still defiant? You go henceforward, there is threats that can take your life. Why are you still continuing for that?
Well, I am defiant because I know I'm on a noble mission, both for my country and for the truth that's defended and supported by the Creator, who himself is the ultimate truth. And I know I am not going around to insult or personally attack anybody, but I will not relent in raising the awareness of Gambians who are being hoodwinked by this government that's populated with bandits, criminals, that's looting our national resources and sitting down and allowing this country to become a narco state with drugs and guns coming in and out, making the Gambia a threat to global security. I want this government out, but I want it out by legal democratic means, and that's what I'm doing. And so long as I'm not breaking the laws of the land and the laws of God, I will not be deterred or scared by anybody. I'm pushing on.
Where people are asking you to go to some communities, then you have reacted to that. Then, do you know those people? And then, why do you think they are doing that?
Well, I think that's captured in the message. I said the first message came from Gambisara. The person was not identified in the audio, even though I later had information that the person is not actually from that village. It's trying to create animosity between me and the people of Gambisara. I think they thought that if they said that somebody from Gambisara said Sabally will not go to Gambisara, they expect me to react impulsively and maybe attack the people of Gambisara. I didn't fall for it because our culture reserves certain privileges and immunities between Badibunkas and Sarahules, so I refrain from attacking Gambisara or responding or saying anything bad about the people of Gambisara. I refrain. Once that did not work, a second audio came, and it's generally believed, I've spoken to several people who believe it's Bubu Drame, the regional chairman for NPP at URR, and he didn't say his name in the audio, but he said he's making the audio from the NPP regional office. Now, I thought that was serious. So once that happened, I started making further investigations. And I know that there are some people who actually go into a particular town in Gambisara and telling them that I should not come there. So I said, I will go there. And I will go there. I'm not going there to say I'm going to react to that audio or I'm going to create trouble. But if I feel the need to go to Gambisara or Alunghare or Njabakunda or Sare Boyo, I will go there. I'm not going to instigate any violence. I want to make that very clear. I am not interested in violence. I am interested in a peaceful, democratic change of government. And I will do anything to ensure that. It looks like Barrow and his cronies are scared. They are in panic mode, especially when recently I convinced two brilliant, dynamic, highly influential young people to defect from their pro-Barrow Gambia for 5 years movement to come to UDP. That has really scared them. I think the Barrow administration is scared that I have a lot of vital information, and any single accusation I label against them turns out to be true. So they're very impatient. They're trying to provoke me. I can assure the general public that I will not be provoked, and I will not be the one to instigate any violence, and I will not go to any town or village to provoke the residents. But I will not be scared, and if I am attacked, I am more than ready to respond, measure for measure, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. And if I'm attacked anywhere, there will be collateral damage. I want to say that for the record.
You are going to the police to investigate and you said tomorrow you are going to complain at the police headquarters.
Yes.
So what about if you can police for taking action? So what is said?
Well, yeah, I think that's a good question, by the way, because some of the names mentioned in these alleged threats are very close to the police. But that's why I am putting out a press conference to make the Gambian community, especially religious and the whole world, witnesses to these issues. Your question is very relevant, but I will cross that bridge when I get there. For now, I just want to put this information out. I'm not a violent man, I've never been. I will not instigate violence. I will not provoke any individual or communities. But if anybody is foolish enough to cross my line, to provoke me, to attack me, I am saying again, there will be collateral damage. Yes.
Thank you very much. My name is Karabata from Daily News. During your speech, you have made mention about securities and religious leaders. So what role do you want religious leaders to play in this part?
Well, the religious leaders in particular, because I have a very good relationship with them, and by the grace of Allah, I know a lot of them listen to me and they respect me. And usually they are the first to step in if there is confrontation or potential misunderstanding. So that's why I'm putting them on alert. I think they should talk to President Barrow. I think Imam Momodou Lamin Toure, Imam Sheikh Issa Dabo should go to President Barrow and talk to him about these clear attempts to threaten me, because I am Momodou Sabally. I am not going to take one step back if anybody comes to attack me. Yes.
My name is Sabally from DHK. I meant to ask, are these threats by those people affecting your daily life, or perhaps to your close associates?
Well, so far it has not affected my daily life, even though some people who are close to me are very concerned. They want me to have personal security now, which even in the heights of my own personal problems and confrontations with the Jammeh administration going in and out of prison, my family has never recommended for me to take personal security for my safety. I was going to court with Jammeh, going in and out of jail. I was walking around freely day and night. And for this government that is accusing the former administration of abuse of human rights, threats, for this government that institution a Truth, Reconciliation, Reparation Commission to try to further make the former administration look bad and to prove to the whole world that human rights abuses, threats are bad and we should make a change. For that government to be the one to threaten me, this is really a catastrophe of monumental proportions. And that's all the more why President Adama Barrow and his gang of squirrels, like I call them, the squirrels that hijacked and overtook the amount of peanuts cultivated and harvested by the poor farmers, for these squirrels who hijacked our national groundnut harvest, they should be operated, excised, and thrown away like a tomorrow's cancer. Thank you.
Do you have any idea of why are they putting those threats on you?
It's quite obvious that if you follow the political scene, I'm crisscrossing this country like a jet fighter from one region to the other. And I'm going into their strongholds and converting people from NPP to my party, the government in waiting. I think the last straw, I've been doing this for months. Every weekend I go, but the last straw was when I went to Wuli Barokunda, where Barrow claims it's his ancestral home, and took at least one prominent young man, an official of NPP, brought him to UDP, and he brought other people. And then another guy, Kalilu Toure, who is a very critical member of Barrow's political machinery, a key advisor to hundreds of women's groups called Barrow Sisters. That guy also came to UDP, and they were scared. So now, my investigation, what they reveal is that President Barrow and the people he gave money to, like Buba Drame, told him that URR is completely sealed for NPP. When I went to Willie the first trip and brought these prominent influential young people to switch side from NPP to UDP, they told him it's a lie. But when Khalilou Toure came out, it was like a general in their political army. Those people like Bubu Drame who've been using Barrow's money and fooling him, they felt scared. So now, according to the intelligence I'm gathering, the plan is to scare me from going into the Sarahule villages. Because some of these people are playing tribal politics, unfortunately. We know that not all Sarahules are NPP. Sarahules are in all parties. But there are a few greedy, dubious individuals who made President Barrow believe that all Sarahules are NPP. The Sarahule people, they love, respect, and honor me, just like I love, respect, and honor them, and nothing will change that. Nothing will change that. So they fear that. I've not gone into the Sarahule community. I go to Willie Brief, Willie Tuba, Willie Barokunda, but I have not gone to the Sarahule community, and I'm going there. So the fear is if I go there, some of these Sarahule, especially the young people, will switch allegiance to UDP, and that will make them look bad because they took millions from President Barrow and made him believe URR is NPP and the truth is coming out. So they're in panic mode. The other issue is the two young men from Barrow for 5 years. And you know, this Barrow for 5 years thing, there's a lot of things that happen. If you guys followed their statement when they formally came to meet the party leader, they even accused some of Barrow's top men of embezzling monies to the tune of $6 million that were meant to benefit the actual foot soldiers of this Operation Gambia for 5 years. So that allegation also rattled State House to the extent that the following day Barrow called for a meeting at State House. And Barrow himself is calling at least one of these young men, expressing his shock and consternation, telling him, I thought you were intelligent, how can you allow Sabally to play with your mind? So these young people, I think they have information that I'm not privy to. They're afraid that these people will give me this information and I will share it. And to be honest, I don't use young people for such things. I don't want to put any young person in danger. I have my sources for information. They are credible. Once I confirm them, I bring them in the open. These young people have not given me any information, even though they are free to speak for themselves. And they are speaking. And Barrow is uncomfortable. So it's a succession of events that has created panic at State House, but they cannot silence me. Yes.
One more question. We understand that a ruling government has passed. So in case you are asked to provide evidence on how the energy sector, the lands allocated for the government are being mismanaged, do you have any proof?
Well, it's not for me to provide any proof. Barrow knows that what I'm saying is the truth. Let him come and deny what I said. For lands, I'm not even accusing Musa Adrame of anything. Musa Adrame, give us a list of state land allocated to businesses and individuals for the past 4 years. Musa Adrame will never provide this. Unfortunately, you guys will never make the follow-ups and it will die down. If Musa Adrame provides this, Gambians will move to State House and uproot President Barrow. But they will not do it. So let them challenge me, let them take me to court. I'm ready anytime. They once used somebody to threaten me, and I'm still ready to go to court anytime.
One question about, I want to give some Stevie. One question about what the sister just asked about the proof. Okay, in this case, they will say that you are just saying a verbal word, while you are just saying whatever you want. But are you having the proof that you are going to show that this is the about Nawek that they are accusing you of accusing Nawek and about the 3 million?
The proof is in your own websites, in your own archives. 35 million was transferred to the First Ladies Foundation's account. At least one official of the foundation came and said it's true, but it's a mistake. Right or wrong? I mean, even Bill Gates will not make a mistake of transferring 35 million. Nawek recently awarded a contract to a company. Right or wrong? Is that company not connected to the First Ladies? I mean, these things are out in the open. In fact, you guys are my source. If they ask me for proof, I'll come to your websites and your YouTube channels. It's out in the open. I'm ready anytime. Let them come.
Sabally, I'm telling you that I come to drop ko mi ala ko ya ko la statement ko na amu fenn mi ala ko man sakunda wala drop law enforcement against before investigation or taken afo ni na anun sabbi ababan. Why are you guys so keen that Allah didn't drop on ya disclose ya di wa mi ala ko la investigation ababan. Perhaps if men talk about la investigation on asa nyano la ni FM disclose side.
Because drop ko amanke sign kuti ametale imam fenkeje. Drop container iko imalong meya samanang adunta dameng bari na funding kewol men be manja ko lo tavan tay joint killing ikawol muta ike sorong UDP la moto iko tayle biji ngamra men famam bulu fasi bari ka kun dingol je ku mesangol ku bay bukaje tapale ale biji adama jaral to nya ko man sakundai tapale wollem baruna ramul tapale wollem. Thank you.
Well, I will also try to make well. The beginning, I'm Adam Fodera, member
From also from Kiang.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You are not proud of it, I know it.
So, just the first question will be a follow-up question to Badi. All I need to go, like during threshold now. So threshold men the all I need to go for more many arango, even sound the can find threshold ila miro. What financial plan wa
no ko kungo be wolti kat adama baro albe alon ko amitante normale pour nga face à politique wala silola nde dum kole ko baron tema kon nga baro lonne ala muso fatou ba sadio mbalo nge lonne ni kadi amu telephone wotole abari ndigol njaga sane amadou sane ikana noma ngika futaya nka futema kon nante yake ni tema recently nkoto ma bakilim fakilin kabri nga banta baro la first lady second lady ibele nata sama kontongola nkoto mbakili mfakili nkoto abe NPP le mbakili imofula ramu Sabally binta Sabally adum amanni la badi ya kinya ndebuka politiko fitino dundi ni motema alama baro lunga mengala muso nata ya sama kontongola kala fta salila ntele fitaro ngata nganna luwo fita ngabaso fene ay fonna sisa sol kambulo because hada mayale ben na tema. So this is nothing personal wala kabim benin kumo fala yemenu tumi ko wolle lafta pour kana nyapinte kanka ku kenna nko nte ma foko fa ko momu to nyaati fa manke to nyaati adum make pour ka mo tokiya adum mam mo bula katani mol tokiya ko mol ka menke ka duila family la kolto ila private life mam mo bulala ko ko ngom menti wolen adama baro ye menu to foje wol be matel la moti na banko la security ba tele bulu abe siring mol be banku dingol tretin la koy be falale koy be attaque la aman kuma fo nko sa nga kumol lankene maya Gambia nkoli ya moy banko dine alfal ya moy bantala banko ya moy because nte Momodou Sabally mo tente traité la ka foko kana taja ngasi manta mbitale adu ni momo yemma ibenjelale ko tilo bari menke da baroni yole torata yente ko mandi ko ngata man kamankunda iko be moto dilan ani 1 million nko yem fata moto la fata ko dola moto be mbulle 1 million amanna haji jara ni adina within 1 month be bannale adu ni 10 million le dinna fana wolen ko do ka banne bari dinkende ya anim foroya anim banku di yawo buka bang nkoy mfati la patiola hani bi wallahi ben noma hani bi ni mbota jey ben kumandi la ko tanki afani ko Sabally na NPP. Enough is enough. Don't want to be a part of your party. Take your positions and your money. I'm not interested in that. I've held a position that nobody has ever held in the history of this country. Secretary General, Minister of Presidential Affairs, Minister of the Civil Service, Secretary General of the ruling party. Nobody has ever held that position in this country. Fine. So I'm not interested in position. Ko nkamul men soundi ke bo NPP kana UDP wolem to nyati ntata wulile bubu drama nyoli baro nene ka fay ko wulli bebe e ka in fay kal ko URR wol bebe NPP le ntata wulli baro kunda baro ka bon sungo be damen ngela fondinke nyama yala malta nge dundu UDP e ko baro e ko fan yalem ntata Kalilu Touré kamana me yalon ko muy la jata baleti politiko to ngawo samanan nayen natal anim parti lay na e ko photoshop len nga Kalilu Touré murundi nani Ousainou Darboe video ke kabriyo je nak ikijo ye fara sayin yalon ko adama baro yalon ko nyimuto nyalti Momodou Sabally ka mol bondi NPP le URR ak samba UDP so isila tam men na wolem pour ngata sarakule sato sarakulol buñani horomo le ben ni tema kanunte wollem politique ku man dunni sarakulol tema nyin juma tambila men botateng juma do men be o koma nim fonding kewol le tata sarakulol la jamato badu kulan tata saliye ni wol manta political party killing but wallahi kanunte wollem I love them and they love me so sarakulo yente kanule so bubu drame nyol men ye baro ne yala million tabulu ikay ko yuarat be muy taleti inataje baro ba jala molbe bola NPP yuarare kata yudi wolle ki joye fara ye nyin kuma kango fay koy kante silandi ko nin tara sarakula sako tato wolto e be nyapilan kanne e be lipalale ba on te ka baro nin Boubacar Jawara doya nke criticize so e yo fole pour nte kana ta sarakuli saro kan ndara sarakuli saro nan kanunte wol namol ni nge kumandi hani 60% man danku asake no 30% ben danku la ena UDP ilafta wala kana ke adumita sarakulu la saro mita jelde diabu batapa alien kumandi mbinale alon hare alien kumandi mbinale gambi sara na kibaro soto je ko sodo bi je nyanta men fala la karambungo english karambungo mole ko nga may ko ro ko nga sirangol samba je na diata ala emba samba la jede al munam wolati thank you
no na personal still now na personal ni moment wala ni ko mol men ya ko ike na ya me da form they are insecure
oh well nana ma o mira to be honest nka mol ben bandi NPP ke samba UDP nana ma mira ko be de won ko sota wala jatar ko ila fangola tankoto be wala right andi ka kangoto fo mote ku kelela nana ma o mira de to be honest adi alon kam men fo ninte be dia nte buka fani ya fo na politiko kono nka to nyaale fo hani ko mo fo ni mallala so to be honest membe sono yala sa ngba fala ko they are all insecure wala be sono yala bari mawto nya soto nana ma mira la fana fo kabiri nyin fondinke fulol Omar Sanyang Gambia for 5 years and Abdou Wilan kabiri wol natalen drong ngaje kuma kangol ka finti dolbe wol fa call kan e ka kuma kangol mem foye dana ka pour que silandi len pour yebo UDP ye murnang NPP adum kuma kangol ka bonan dame je jam fatal de kuma kangol dolbi je ka bonan state house le barola advisor sul Al Fata Omar Sanyang na aning Abdou Wilan barola ministal Alkana Transport Union ta allié tretin pour ye Abdou Wilan forcé ay bo UDP ay nuri NPP du kale Alkana oke ñi mu game wolati football ko do fam fair play bi je nga tani lu walla momo be Momodou Sabally bara ibe ngani senngol wote silala alal fanda handi adu mome ya lonko barola close associates leng ay business o sama nan jango business o be airport oto business o me ya lonko ye molle duku barola man sakunda pour ye namo tale namo man na tala ye business o continue wole ñing $20 tax la mul kan mobe o business environment kono baro e may use pour ay ñin dindingol ta ay silandi wara ye duku pour ye murnang NPP mbe ya marla ni me fonyo kanyum fondinke wol call special press conference mbe wole kele o business wala ko wala dukol men keta anyin namu jawo me yalon ka be na diaspora nol tora la be torisol tora la be mol tora kanjang tourist industry tourist oli ko la di Gambia ku jama bi ye corona bi je bari ñing tax me yalon ko ya laaje me yalon ko duko wala tina ñin tax lata because the businessman o ñi ya promise mena kombe namo talale namo doku la bundal man na song wala ñin $20 to and fro la airport baro fatana funding ke wala se hum balo fotana funding ke wala this is my last warning.
Finally, iya mera muna sekeno san men sekeno kurka je ko nimba ko currently ne banko jibe crime rate bestia kan ning allegation ol fanan na ka because ita ta mo da balgo ka dol fanan mo audio le ka ko do ko la mo le be fona ta ita amuna muna sekeno men ta kan di ko banko ka nin situation si banga bokon because the crucial moment at the moment in the country ya mera muna nyanta banko san
well fadera natra ikam fulu na kuma kangol to anin na saferol to nka saferol ko opun leta ngamen safe adam baro ngana siata tannim fulati kaya mari bunya kono anin horomo men nyanta kala men nyana kala Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs opun leta ngamen safaye bunya kono ngan horomo won nendirti ye kaja firfiye asiata sabati ko economy iba tamaka nyamen amambeteya ila nyin kalabanti ya ko ka salary lafa ni salary lafa ntol ngamel long economics londo to akana me wulu niya danna siya lafa aka me wulu wala na inflation so eka men lafa moliye ila joto abukani nafa wo be keta fo wulu ngamo chairman Banjul Muslim Elders me occasional chair aya fo barona la finance minister ay na ko mole repeat so ntenga ñun ya marle fo batata iman danku imaya maro moy ita moy la kitabo ka famen summun bukmun umyun fahum la yarjiun ita moy la ngam fonyo ya maro la le wala na wulita mbe banko be tamala ka mol kumandi ye nantela patrioto UDP ye bambu Usain Dabo koma nganyum masakunda bondi hani menu man la fika na UDP nkoye ko ngake kankilinde wal kana ka rew fay baroe wala na mission the baro is the biggest problem in this country barolen ko be moti nimma bondije nyin kerangol men babalete bondi la je to kerangol mbemba fay so bondije folo nin di la fana na tiya tuma frère amut ay am rutiyati yol I guess that's going to be the last question, right? Mr. Director, when are we ending? I'm sweating now. Yeah, come on about aso democracy. Jaman ke baro ya ke ko talala I balance. It's okay? Okay. Tamara wa mala fi ya ko na friendly mo jola nek question jaman. Of course, sure. Sure, carry on.
Press conference Itala Mosakunda Yati Moto Nkita Abubakar Jawad and Abubakar Jawad and the name was Lanoke, Parent Kill, Yesama Kitula, Mudo Kamal. Sailor Fukote, the fear of Tabi, Sukitamotora, when Kefa, at the Jarakoda. Abubakar, I will no comment, I am a little of Famana.
Okay, ntema foko Abubakar leake wara ntema foko fero tabita la korda kono kuma kango men fintita nga wole lankenema nko fana nta fola no fo kuma kango to nyalen fo to nyante bari nga sane andi fana nyim manke signa foloti Ibrahima Jawara malon fo NPP e jole pour intero bari la moy nko nta fola no fo nyim kuma kango to nyalti fo to nyanti bari nyim manke signa foloti nyim kuma kango folo be sifa e fintila kuma kango fintita no yente tokije nyang jaay madi jobate ani ngama pa Momodou Bojang ani Mo Jamal pa Momodou Bojang fango has been a subject of threats ko be kela abe kela nko nte Modou Sabally nte mo badi bunkol di mambo kiya manke toleti nte de sila fo yem fure wota ya samba kiti dula ka foko ha nyine dalilo ti sai nyine evidence ko nyiko muto nte to kela so ngakuma kangole lankenema adu nga sene andi ko Abubakar Jawara to fotaje Ousmane Sow to fotaje nte ma foko idabe nyin kuota nte ma fo kumo men fete ngawle adu mang interest soto pour Abubakar Jawara aning Ousmane Sow ke attaque personal attaque la waraka dungi la private life kono wara pour que la family attaque mang interest soto because ngala Gambia dol biye ning kuma sifal fora modul ka kufang ika danna tamboke mammo tumi kula bari kuma ko men finti nga wala lankenema Abubakar Jawara nak ate to fota nyin doto bara to foto fanan audio me yalon ko iko bubu drama ya fintindi ko ngatele jalay anim president no ngatele attaque anim president no woto ninde tara sarakule sato sarakule fondin ko nyata nyapi dan kan yembude atole fota ma foka tele ko ya fo bari nyine fota ito fota a fota patenke mbe kumole langdi kan Gambia dingol nyala polisol nyala dina nyatonkol nyala international community nyala ko min kumole fota atonyamu atonyantente de sila fo yem fure olandi katandi mo la ko nyin kumol mu tonyalati bar nim momo yemma momo wulitay kana Momodou Sabally attaque ibe njelale ko tilo ma wala
Person kini ngap ko ni ne gawo konsal dia mo bi atata anata you are accusing NPP of threatening your life or what?
Absolutely wakany mang hakili fula sore NPP will be a life threatening kan definitely yes next question
Amulun tala ko yung sekundara di Podo na. Kumano po yung diamo ko na kaya tanggilan. Tumalalo na yung Podo. Ilaf tala ko yung tenteng ko di Podo. Wala na ilaf tayo ka po ako. Inane mo ko yung wato na yung
Nini karo man senea ba? Can you repeat it?
Okay,
Well, can you say it in English? Then I'll answer in Mandinka. I can speak Wolof too, yeah.
Say it in Wolof.
Maybe you can go well. I did the diamo ko. Masakuna di Podo ke kan min de din ko la min ko tamola. Podo wato min ne ko man Sabally kuye ko fu NPP ma ina ya ko ne ko ilaf tale. Ko e tenten kan nuko Gambia dingol ma wala ne sulate radio ko mo.
Ha konka fo nyamen nte na diamol to na politiko to na activism mbuka fania fo mbuka la fi fanan kam man takunda tumi kula me alon ka man soto yemen fo nana man kede inana man na ikonye ko mbe nyin kuriyal men na ituje kana fo inana ma oke bari e ka fonyel ko ngana NPP muna na ila fa ngana NPP nimbe la bungono nte tumando ba ton te wanyar la so nga jiki ko ila fale pour ngana e ko yibe moto di lana anin kodo nko ye kom fata sai alone Sabally kata nyame mo dañum bondila no UDP so jiki la tetale so wala na la fa ye fere dol leta ya lon tuba wol ka fa be carrot and stick ye sone ya ngota ye nene ro ka manke sai ko fitino ibentar la jan de ko bori. Shall we close? Yeah. Okay, I wanna Bajara, but you can lo ñinen director of the press conference. So you can lo, you can be siri ka ñinen ka roge.
Final question. Labe ñinin dala men bayri iko ika mol bodi na parti lo ni na fina UDP where president Barrow na mol ay sulal. Ko la parti fana kabri ñin silandir ko ko fam ñim manga signa pro ko panel lo data ko ni na na no lo data ay mo lo data fata. Bari na press conference.
Ila ñinin karo akum mayata bake because ñajen dam my press conference ke nka operate ñameng. Okay, dolbi nka operate as a UDP foot soldier and commando, but don't you operate as a citizen? Nka message you'll bomb along ko nika ila mo for this is a non-partisan statement. Normally, me dia mo men kana particular ko nka ke UDP forums and it will be marked. I'm speaking at M Sabally forum or Abu Maron forum or UDP Kankeling. But don't be nka finti. Nka diamu as a non-political guy. Adu ko le be dunta wala nata as an individual. But in na patio threshold men kata ya kalamutale. Ni Hakilo Obama, His Excellency, the party leader and Secretary General, a press conference doke. Ako ay kibaro soto ko, NPP kol, barona la mansakundang kol, yenyim ferole landi purka drogota, kake ntela mototo, Ibrahim Adiba, Talib Ahmed Bensouda, namira ani yakumba jaite. Ko ye ferole soto so party leader afintita ay mansakunda damdalar ko ye sifal bula. So kabrinyi message do fintita kunu message ngam mo sort of from inside and inside a mealonko barola criminalol bandiol menu katarañin ku maniwol kelae woni wolle ka ñomoy kabringa ñinin ka ñinna because I'm not interested in sensationalism. I have enough facts to damage this government. So I'm not going to make up anything or try to create a steam out of the teacup. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in calm, peace and stability in this country. And Usman Sow, DGSIS, knows the role I have played over the past 3 years to ensure peace and stability in this country out of my own initiative without any reward. Negotiating to cancel strikes and violent demonstrations. Usman Sow, you're speaking. If you're listening, you know this is the fact. And Adama Barrow knows it. I'm not a violent man. I'm not interested in violence. I'm interested in peaceful change of government. But Barrow has criminal circles operating under his wings that work together to provoke people and to create false perceptions regarding his opponents. So Kabrinji message fintida, this yesterday's message, I showed it to somebody. Sabally, you should take this seriously. This is not a joke. And then I asked him, how about the drug issue? The plans to implant drugs on my cars or at my home. He said that's also true. They actually wanted to implement it during the Ramadan, but they had logistical constraints, so be on the alert. So kafoye mandika kamala. Nko nte manyi press conference kumandika kawiye yake urka banko kamol niyo torandi kamol sema womanke na hajoti. Nko Usman Sow SISDG. Alone kontena te nka futale pour ka fitino da fa nyim banko kono sanji sabatambilala nka fintika diamu moli men lafta fitino kala pour ikana fitina ko ke Usman Sow yalo ne Adama Barrow yalo adu mamman sa ko ndani ni butur laje manke fitinan tunti manke fitina moti man la fitina bari manke joto yiti fana wose ko yima lew so Barrow molle ba ala sakulol kono molle ba bala men yalo ko wol pareta pour kanyim kuru yasi fal kae wala na ñi message men fintita ka foko ila fank ambush lale ngam woni nin ka me alon ka sutiyata bar wala mul lale akonye ko kana ñin ko ke chakan tudi tonya ase keno ise fero sotonole pour kana nyapi kan akonye ko hani drug ko e kam même fo akonye ko Sabally tonyalem akonye ko ñin sunkar tambilale lafta kela kanila korda kono ka drogo ki je ka kila mutoto bari e sotaro le soto bari me fonyo ha moyo fonye me alon ko latala amanke moti men safani afanye ala baraka. I want to thank you all again profusely for, as I said, responding to this impromptu invitation for a press conference. I appreciate the work that you do. May Allah bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.